Welcome to Wizards of the Tower.
Roleplay.
In this episode, the high-level campaign. Welcome to Wizards of the Tower.
Roleplay.
This episode we're going to talk a little bit about a high-level campaign. So it's kind of a continuation of one of our previous episodes about ending a campaign. And maybe moving on to a high-level campaign instead of starting everybody off at first or second or third level.
Yeah.
Starting them off at 10th plus level.
Yeah, so we're getting ready to wrap up an old campaign that we've had for years. And we want to finally get some closure, but the surviving characters in there are level 10 and 11. So the whole idea is allowing the people who are going to be playing with it in the campaign who are unfamiliar with the setting so much, allowing them to start off in high-level roles, high-level campaigns, like creating 9th, 10th, 11th level wizards, fighters, bards, whatever they want to do. And how difficult that might be.
It definitely adds more complexity to it.
It does.
Because now you've got to think about, their gold piece value of equipment and gear and the magic items they have to not overbalance what other characters have.
Yeah. So we already have a plot. We already have a plot going. We already have a storyline going in this. So we don't have to create a high-level storyline. But let's say someone wanted to create a level 10 or 11 or 12 campaign. What kind of storyline would you put them in so that your characters could fit it? Would they be overbalanced in the campaign? Would they be like a bunch of superheroes wandering around smashing flat level 2 and 3 orcs? Or would they be completely outclassed by a campaign that's just so far-fetched that even they can't function in it? How do you find that balance when you introduce people into a high-level campaign like that?
The way you kind of look at it is, are you making this kind of like the Knights of the Round Table out to find the Holy Grail?
Yeah.
All those knights were not first or second or third level knights. Most of them were very high level.
Yeah, they were very astute, very ingrained within their profession of being a knight or a minor noble. They weren't a bunch of peasants. They weren't even like landless foot knights. They were actually, high-level knights who had, a certain set of technical skills and martial skills. Well, how do you create a quest for them that seems worthy of themselves as a knight? That's a real challenge. And I guess it comes down to, how do you create a real challenge for high-level characters? Do those characters fit in with that challenge so that they don't feel either bored or completely overwhelmed?
And making it fit into your world.
Yeah.
Maybe there's monsters that are in the books, but maybe those monsters don't fit into your world or your background.
Right.
So now you got to come up with, what do they face? Do they face other high-level wizards and clerics and knights, or maybe big, huge monsters, dragons, or...
Yeah.
Or what, you have to decide on that.
So when people create like a high-level character, I think it's very important for them to create a commensurate backstory for that character.
Yeah.
Okay. They can't, you're rolling up a level 11 or 12 fighter or paladin or something. You can't just say, oh yeah, my name's Bob from Knob, I'm a 12th level fighter.
I don't like my parents.
Yeah, I'm just like roaming around doing some stuff. Sure, that may work for a first level character, but when you're a 12th level or 11th level, you've got to have some background. You've gotten this far in the world.
Yeah, how did you get to where you are?
Yeah, you're at that level of a fighter, which is pretty amazing. How did you get that far in this world? How did you do? What did you do? What adventures have you had before that lead you to this scenario that you're in now? I think it's very important.
Yeah.
I have already a constructed character in the game that's very complex. So I don't have to actually do this, but the other players who are going to be in the game, they should be able to come up with something complex enough to fit a high-level campaign. I think it's very important.
Yeah, which would help me as a DM/GM bring their character in and evolve their character.
Right.
What are they looking for?
Yeah, create some kind of backstory, create some kind of plot line to where this high-level character can fit in. Up until this time, you know, we're in this adventure. If you suddenly show up and you're a 12th level wizard, well, where have you been this whole time? You know, have we heard of you before? Have we not heard of you before? Are you from a distant realm? Are you from around here? What have you done? You know, do you have a name for yourself?
Yeah.
Do you have a reputation? Are you a wanted criminal? You know, are you trying to redeem yourself from something you've done? That sort of thing. That really, I believe that a person's backstory should be on the level, should be commensurate with how the game functions at a high level.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, as we kind of mentioned, you know, magic.
Yeah.
What's the magic level?
Is it still high magic? Is it low magic? You know, what's the magic level? Are you going to encounter wizards who are, you know, the same level as you? Are you going to encounter clerics, anti-paladins, demons, whatever? Are they going to be on the same level as you? Is that the kind of magic world you in? Or if you're an 11th or 12th level wizard, are you the biggest, baddest wizard on the block? And can you, like, take down whole cities? Are you going to be that kind of person?
Yeah.
You know, is there going to be a balance of the magic levels?
Exactly. The equipment, you know, coming up with their equipment and their gear, magic that they have.
Yeah,
you know,
their magic gear.
You've got to have it match what's in the world, or if there's other characters, like in the case of the campaign that we're going to move on to, which is a high-level campaign,
Yeah.
matching what Tom's character is.
Yeah.
So to continue.
So my character...
And what do you give them, you know?
Yeah.
In my case, I've asked my players to kind of make a wish list. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to get everything.
Yeah. Well, I know a wish list is good. I mean,
yeah.
So what do you expect to get out of being like an 11th level magic user / fighter? Okay.
Yeah. I want to carry around a sphere of annihilation. I want to carry around a deck of many things.
So, you know, my character, which is a high-level cleric, level 11 cleric, has
12.
11 or 12. I'll have to look again, but my character has a very powerful shield. You know, one thing that provides a great deal of shield protection and armor-wise. My character has powerful armor. And, you know, it's gone through these whole plot lines, so that's how my character got it. My character still has the same old broadsword, same old longsword. And the longsword is magical, but it actually doesn't do a whole lot of damage.
Yeah.
It is a monster bane sword, so it can do an additional 2d6 against certain kind of monsters. So there is that. But that's because my character is not a battle cleric. My character is a healer and a protector and a buffer.
Yeah.
I specifically designed my character to be that way because I wanted my character to have great armor and weapons, but not necessarily resort to violence all the time. Okay? And there's been times when we've got out of situations where my character has been able to talk their way in and out of it. You know, and that's an important plot of a high-level character plot line. Are you going to have these people evolve from a sword-swinging first-level guy to a fast-talking person, you know, later on, you know, where they'll be able to talk their way in and out of complex engagements or conflicts or situations by using their advanced, you know, their skill level, their skill checks. Okay, yeah. You start out with low skill checks. By the time you get up to level 10, your skill checks are pretty high. You should be able to start thinking your way out of stuff rather than just attacking things with a hammer and just beating your way through them.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, absolutely.
That's kind of the way I look at it. You know, you create a high-level character, create them with a high-level skill set so that they're able to do more things. They're able to do more refined actions rather than just be the same old brutal, you know, hammer swinger who probably wouldn't make it past level 3 or 4 because everybody's out to get him.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. You got to think about your antagonists and your villains. Who are they going to be facing?
Yeah. Are they going to be the same kind of level as you, or more powerful, or less powerful, or what?
You're going to be putting them up against Zoxaroth, the Lich of the Red Wizards of Thay.
I mean, come on. You know, I mean, even if you are an 11th or 12th level person, if they put you up against an evil wizard who's level 18, probably, that game's going to be pretty short, to be honest. Might be. I mean, I'm just saying that if you are thinking of injecting high-level characters into a campaign, try to keep the villains on the same level as them. Make sure it's a challenge. Yeah. It should always be a challenge.
Well, there are what we call the CR level.
Okay.
CR level challenge, which
the challenge rating
in 5e doesn't really match up in a high-level campaign. In a low-level campaign, 5e is great, but once you start getting up into the 9th, 10th, 11th, it's like the characters just are gods and just walk through everything. Where in Pathfinder, 1st, 2nd, and 2.1, it actually fits closer in.
And see, I was going to ask you that. How does Pathfinder differ from D&D in that sense of high-level villains?
It's just based upon, hit points, their armor class, their damage, just the whole gamut of what that creature is. And how tough it is for, say, a party of 10th level characters to go up against a challenge rating of, say, your 5th or your 10th level characters going up against a challenge rating 10 or 11th or 12th level monster. The challenge rating is supposed to match what it is, and in 5e it doesn't do that.
Okay.
It's not formulated very well.
Well, we didn't want this episode to turn into a criticism of 5e.
It's just when it comes to high-level games, Pathfinder is actually equated better to handle that. And in the books, it makes it easier to do that as a DM/GM. So everything is, you can tell when you put a monster up against the party of how they should react.
Okay, so
here's a great example.
Okay.
The current campaign you guys are in. Last adventure you guys ran into a purple worm, which is CR 12. You guys are 10th level. Okay, so that's a heavy challenge for you guys.
It was. It was very heavy.
Yeah, and you almost lost 2 party members.
We did.
Almost lost 3 party members.
Yeah, we did. We came really close.
So, the challenge rating there it was supposed to be designed as a tougher challenge for you guys as 10th level characters, and it was.
Well, and the thing is, okay, so I believe that you should do that when you create a scenario. You should have high-level monsters, challenge rating monsters that are on the same level as your characters.
Yeah.
Injecting high-level characters into a game all of a sudden when because you don't have a chance to work them up from level 1. Have them attack, some low-level bandits, and then maybe some goblins, and then some orcs, and maybe work your way up some beasts, and then owlbears, and ghouls, and ghasts, and shriekers, and, working your way up like that. All of a sudden, you have a character who, you have to create a character with a weapon set, and a magic set, and a spell set to tackle high-level villains. You may not be ready for something like that because you may not have had the experience of having this character run up against these people before.
Yeah.
Do you give them more healing? Do you give them more powerful weapons? Do you ask the DM if they can have better traits, better feats, better background, something like that would help you against, these sort of villains? And as a DM then, would you give them a couple of hints and say, well, if I were you, I'd make sure I had a lot of turn undead in my inventory because this world is some undead, Or would you say, well, if I were you, I'd make sure I had some fire spells, some area of effect spells.
As a high-level character, I think it's valuable, that you let the players know of kind of what's going on.
Sure.
So that way they can kind of think about their characters.
Okay.
So in the campaign you guys are going to be moving on to, the Chaos Stones, you've got this magic, this stone that is, for lack of a better word, it's warping. It's kind of like the Warhammer.
Warpstone. Yeah,
Warp
it's
stone.
a little bit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it mutates because it's a Chaos Stone.
Yeah.
And warning the players, it's like, okay, you're level, you've heard about this stuff, and you know to avoid it or to watch out for it.
Yeah.
So that way, when you throw it out there in the campaign, they're going to go, ooh, what's this pretty stone, and pick it up and know.
You see, that's what I say about plot lines. Okay, how do you handle past experiences, to bring them into this game Do they, they're a level 12 fighter. They've been fighting in the Dane for years. All of a sudden, they see the green stone with the red marks, and they're like, "Oh boy, look at that! Picking up, look!" And all of a sudden, they're warped. You probably wouldn't have them do that because they're experienced.
Right, and in the same line, in a Dane, you know that not all giants are good.
Exactly.
Just because it's a storm giant doesn't make it a good giant. Just because it's a frost giant doesn't make it an evil giant.
Exactly.
A giant has his own personality.
Same with dragons.
And same with dragons.
Yeah.
Just because it's a red dragon doesn't mean it's going to barbecue you.
Exactly.
It may just want to sit down and talk, riddles and history and tell you its grand story, to kind of be pompous. And so these things in that world.
Exactly. And that's the character experience and part of the backstories. Right. This high-level character should already have like a little bit of this back experience with them so that they can function within this high-level realm.
Right.
I personally am very excited to play this high-level campaign because I want to finish this one up.
Right.
And we talked about task completion before and how important it is. And I would think that the people who are going to be playing in this campaign this is a great opportunity to create your dream character. Very few times do people get a chance to roll up a level 11 cleric or level 11 druid and grab all the spells and grab all the traits and all the characteristics and all the magic and be able to create your dream character. How many times have we been able to do that in the past?
Never.
Almost never. Except maybe just a couple one-shots where we've done some one-shots.
Yeah, I think there was a couple of one-shots we got to do that were like 7th, 8th, 9th,
7th, 8th level. Yeah, where we were able to create high-level characters just for a one-shot, Yeah. But then that's just a one-shot. That's not, a continuation campaign. A lot of people just like to start out at level 1 or 2
and build their way up. And then, finish around 10th level. But, I remember in the old days of first edition, you always had ambitions of your character reaching godhood, or looking into deities and demigods. You wanted to be the Fafford and Grey Mouser, levels. You wanted to be like a 10th level fighter and a 12th level rogue and an 8th level wizard. You wanted to be all these multi-class things, and you wanted to have that experience.
Well, yeah, and of course, when you talk about I want to be this higher level character, in the storyline itself, when you create NPCs, are you going to have them encounter these NPCs like Fafford Grey Mouser that are going to be so high up, that are going to be so high level, and they interact with them? That in itself, within a story, can't be easy because you've got to all of a sudden roll up these high level NPCs.
Yeah.
These aren't just average villagers at level 1 or some townies or a blacksmith. No, you're talking about a level 11 or 12 captain of the guard who has a complex agenda, or a noble who's that high.
Right. So here's a great example of that. So one of our players is going to play a paladin.
Yeah.
And they're going to be an 11 level paladin. And I said, okay, well, here are 3 knightly orders from this part of the world. If you want to create your own, if you want to be from somewhere else, you can do that. But here's how you need to write this up. And they decided that they wanted to play a Knight of the Shield, which is one of the knightly orders of my realm. Yeah. They are protectors of the land.
Yeah.
And I have this whole knightly order wrote up about them. So I sent this person in the city, the main city. Here is the head of that knightly order, who's I think he's 11th level paladin, 6th or 7th level cleric. And I said, here's his name, here's his level, so you can write this into your backstory. It's probably somebody you know.
Yeah. That makes total sense.
Yeah.
Include them within your storyline because you must have encountered them already. You're already a level 12 or a level 11. Surely you must have encountered this person sometime during your existence.
Yeah.
So they're part of the storyline then.
Right. And being the Knight of the Shield, they would know who the king and the queen are and who the relatives are, the next in line for the crown, and then possibly other rumors of who will be the next, who the prince or princess might be wedding.
Right. So let us know what you think about creating high-level characters within a high-level game.
Yeah.
Let us know how you feel about balancing them out. Because it's always kind of a tough thing. You know, do you want to overbalance the people and underbalance the game or something like that? How do you create that level playing field so that it doesn't feel like a cakewalk, or it also doesn't feel like a total annihilation, like a TPK situation?
Yeah.
You know, I personally would be really interested to hear how people handle that situation, how they handle creating.
Yeah, getting to play a high-level campaign.
High-level characters.
Having your DM/GM say, okay, everyone's going to be 10th plus level in this.
Yeah.
Or 15th level or whatever.
Yeah, I have never gone beyond 11. My cleric,
12, yeah.
11 or 12. I think it's 11 right now, but I'll look again. But I have never gone beyond that. What would it be like to go beyond into like legendary level with a character? That would be really awesome.
Almost mythic level.
Mythic, yeah. I mean, it'd be cool. How would you handle it? Yeah. So let us know.
Yeah. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe, spread the word, tell your friends, comment. Like Tom has asked, if you, what's your ideas? What do you think? We'll reply back to that comment. Maybe as simple as, wow, that's a great idea. I really like it. Or thanks for the comment. We always like to at least reply back to let you know that we have read your comment. So,
absolutely.
Anyway, we're going to end this episode of Wizards of the Tower.
Roleplay.
May all your high-level adventures be epic.
And may you keep on rolling through many levels to go.
Thank you, folks.